also really important to remember to accept feedback from the client. So we're just when we start responding, asking questions, making comments, doing prompts, we're just kind of guessing about what might be helpful to them. And we're not always going to make it. In fact, most of the time being a counselor, you make 5 or 6 guesses before you actually hit one that's like really helpful. And that's fine. You just kind of move on. Okay, that one didn't work. Let's try something else. And you want to encourage the client to give you feedback and ask for what they want. And if they do, thank them, because that's really helpful. If they actually can verbalize and tell you what they want, be very grateful for that. So it's, in a way, you have to step out of your own ego. You have to step out of your own ego, like, oh, I did it right, I didn't do it right. Get over your issues about making mistakes, and also be detached from the effects. Yeah. So you are attempting to be helpful. You don't know if you're going to be helpful or not. There may be no way to ever tell if you were. The person may go through a session and not be able to finish the distress and have to walk out because the time is up, still feeling disturbed. And there's ways that I'm going to teach you about getting our attention out that'll help with that. But, you may have a feeling like, we didn't get to finish it. So you just have to be okay with that. It's like, well, they survived this long with that distress. They'll probably survive a little bit longer. And, trust that they'll have the resources to work through it, or find someone else to work on it with, to continue processing it. So there has to be a bit of detachment as a counselor, that it's not your job to fix them, and that trusting them, that they actually can fix themselves. That's a really important thing to keep in mind. Yeah, otherwise it gets too heavy, right? Because then you're trying to save somebody. Has anybody ever tried to save somebody?
Oh, yeah.
What happens when you try to save somebody?
They sink.
They sink?
They get mad at you after a while.
Oh, yeah.
And it stops the process, too, of the release. Sometimes.
Yeah, because you can never do it good enough.
Well,
right?
It's kind of like the person walking the old lady across the street, but she doesn't want to go across the street.
Yeah, and you may be wanting them to go in a way they don't want to go, or you may not be doing it well enough for them because you can't do it well enough for them because they need to save themselves. That's one of the hardest things that I've had to learn, and doing this work has really helped me, because I used to have a lot of relationships where I was saving, especially my lovers, and they were pretty dysfunctional, and I was saving them. And I've gotten less interested in relationships like that, unless they're my client. But to really realize that I cannot save them. It actually isn't possible, spiritually and emotionally. You might be able to save somebody physically sometimes, like if they're in a car crash, they're about to die. Yeah, we have EMTs for that. There are times when you really do need to rescue somebody in an emergency, but when it becomes a chronic kind of thing where you're always trying to rescue them and pull them up, and it's just too heavy. We can't carry another person. Yeah. Exception might be your children when they're young. You do need to carry them.
Yeah.
Right? That's the contract. But at some point, hopefully they grow up, and then you don't have to carry them anymore, We've done it well.
What age is that? I think I'm still waiting.
Yeah. Well, they'll probably always come back and get some mommy energy.